selling their products. So I believe like it's just a cold situation. It's fucked up, man. They need to open up more opportunities to allow more people to get into that realm. You know, people that want to get into that realm, and I guarantee it's a lot of dispensaries. I know a couple that was running before everything turned legal, you know, and that was fighting to become so-called a legal dispensary, and they still jumping through hoops trying to get there. You know, they got different stipulations in every different county and every different city on how you're supposed to get your licenses on, and they only give out a certain amount.
Hello, glass of cannabis. It's been a glorious year. I want someone in here to stand to their feet and tell me their best way to smoke. Who will it be? You right here. What's your name, girl?
Not him. It don't really matter when we all agree. What's your best way to smoke? Cause I'm rolling it up. Smoke like I ain't had enough.
What's up with y'all out there? This is the Best Way to Smoke podcast, and you smoking with Big J
and Circle Jr. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and tell a friend. Leave a comment or two.
For sure. Yeah. And before we get started with the show, I want to give a shout out to Kush Stock. They got the Kush Stock coming up in Adelanto, April 9th. So go check that out, man. It's a fun event. You know, a lot of weed smoke, a lot of different vendors, a lot of people be there. So go check out Kush Stock, April 9th in Adelanto, California. And before we get all the way into it too, let's talk about what we blowing on right now. I got some Kush mints mixed with some glue. I've been on that. I'm nigga just gonna say glue.
I'm smoking on some whatchamacallit.
Some whatchamacallit.
Some whatchamacallit OG.
Well, fuck it. We gonna call this I'm smoking on some You know what I'm talking about? But look though, man. So the CDTFA is still continuing this fight to try to shut down, you know, dispensaries that's running illegally. And for those of y'all that don't know, it's the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration. So they've been on one. So like we got some news about what's been going on with that. So it's kind of detailed. So I'm gonna read off some stuff about what's going on. The CDTFA casts a wide enforcement net to identify illegal businesses and ensure that licensed businesses are properly registered and collecting the remnant appropriate taxes. The department collaborates with the California Highway Patrol, local law enforcement, city and county license authorities, and other government agencies. Since 2020, the CDTFA has performed more than 1,000 inspections and observations of cannabis businesses and seized more than $32 million in cash and products. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Unlicensed cannabis operators not only undercut legitimate business, but they also cheat California communities out of revenue for vital programs, said the CDTFA Director Nick Maduras. These businesses are not licensed under the law approved by California voters, and many of their products are unregulated. The seized property were used in conjunction with unlicensed cannabis operations that sold a variety of illegal, unregistered cannabis product. Unsuspecting consumers may have purchased unregulated products that fail to meet the strict safety standard required for cannabis products in California. These unlicensed operations fail to report and pay taxes to the state and have unfair business advantage over legal operators who are compliant with the state and tax law. The California Department of Tax and Fee Administration is selling commercial properties in connection with illegal cannabis operations to recover unpaid taxes. CDTFA will auction off property in Whittier that was seized as a result of an investigation into illegal cannabis sales. Operators of illegal cannabis operations at the site owe more than $850,000 in taxes. Damn. The sales will mark the second time in this month that the CDTFA has used seized properties to reclaim tax revenues lost to illegal cannabis sales. On March 2nd, in conjunction with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, CDTFA sold a property seized in Compton, California for $256,000. The CDTFA hopes to recover at least $220,000 from the sale of the Whittier property. So that's a lot, summed up. So basically, they're getting more strict with trying to close down these operations. And like we talked about a few shows ago, they basically, I think they charging like a $30,000 fine for dispensaries that's open illegally. So, and like how we try to come at it is like this though too. It's a lot of I know it's a lot of companies, that wasn't able to get properly licensed, and that probably really tried to bid to get properly licensed to run their business. So you put it's a fucked up situation, because I feel like it's putting people at a cold crossroad, because people want to be legal and do the shit the right way. But if you can't get the proper licenses because you don't look like them, or whatever the case may be, whatever is holding you back from getting that, then it just puts you at a position to where you just got to kind of go for what you know. But they're trying to make it more strict to where you can't really go for what you know, because if you do, when you get caught, it's going to be a lot of loopholes and a lot of things that you got to jump through, on top of jail time and all kind of shit like that, fines and taxes. And then like now how they season the properties, and just say like if somebody renting a property and somebody is running a so-called illegal dispensary up out of there, right, and selling the herb and selling different kind of products, so that property owner can lose their property. You know what I'm saying? To where the people that's running the dispensary, they might not own the property, but they might just be leasing the property, but that property owner could lose their property, and the CDTFA can take that and sell a property to collect the taxes that company probably made selling their products. So I believe like it's just a cold situation. It's fucked up, man. They need to open up more opportunities to allow more people to get into that realm. People that want to get into that realm, and I guarantee it's a lot of dispensaries. I know a couple that was running before everything turned legal, and that was fighting to become so-called a legal dispensary, and they still jumping through hoops trying to get there. They got different stipulations in every different county and every different city on how you're supposed to get your licenses on, and they only give out a certain amount. So it's kind of a catch-22, man, and it really makes you, the money that can be made, it really kind of makes you be like, man, fuck this shit, man. I'm finna get it. I'm finna get my shit off as long as I can. That's how a lot of people would think.
It's kind of cold, because it seems like that's like, I may have a twisted way of understanding, but it seems like that's a form of bullying to me. You know what I'm saying? You have people, they always saying like throughout the little article you was reading, you was just saying that like illegitimate businesses are dispensaries that's not legitimate. You know what I'm saying? What makes it, to be legitimate, for you to go up in here and like try to disrupt whatever it may be. And it's like, I can almost guarantee you, the legitimate ones, you go up in there, the bud tenders or whatever it may be in some of them dispensaries may not be as knowledgeable. They may not be as welcoming. You know what I'm saying? They may not even know too much of nothing, but you go into these ones that you say is not legitimate. They make you feel as if like, all right, this is the place to be. All right, man, I've been fresh off of work, man. I just want to kick back and relax. Oh, I got the perfect strain for you. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, it's like, you know what I'm saying, I mean having a little backache or whatever it may be. Well, look, this hybrid or whatever it may be with these gummies right here will help you. Bang, knock it out. You get that type of information inside of these so-called illegitimate ones. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like in the town that I live in, it's probably about like less than 30,000 people in the town. We got one dispensary, one little shop. Been rolling for a cool little minute. I haven't heard anything bad about them. You know what I'm saying? The worst thing you may hear about them is like, man, it gets real hot up here. And you may get some weed that's kind of dusty, I call it. You know what I'm saying? You break it down and just crumble. That's the worst thing. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, the hospitality of the people, the helpfulness of them, the knowledge that they have, you know what I'm saying? And just the sense of connection with the community that's around them, that makes it legitimate to me. For me to be like, you know what I'm saying, I'm a weed smoker. If you like got a shitty attitude, I don't care. I don't need to smoke your weed. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? But if it's like, if I'm going somewhere and I'm finna spend my bread, a lot of the ones that the people accused to be as illegit, you know what I'm saying, be the ones that's welcoming. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the little shop up here where I'm at, they just went up in there and just ransacked their stuff. Long as they've been up and running, you know what I'm saying, no bad reports from the community, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? They go in there, they take all their products, they take, you know what I'm saying, all merchandise, meaning like shirts and everything else, and all money, and try to hold them for ransom. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, to me, I just feel as if like in this particular instance, when they say legitimize or however they want to put it, these people like they interact with the community that's around them. They cater to the needs to their community. Yes, and that's what makes it legit to me. And I just feel like it's just a form of bullying. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna just come up in here. They don't got this paper. They don't got that paper. Man, I ain't had this paper for the past 7-8 years. Why ain't do this shit 7-8 years ago? You know what I'm saying? I feel it's just a form of bullying. Then when it comes down around the time of like certain elections and this, that, and the other, I feel as if like, you know what I'm saying, it's a cheap way for them to come back and like, well, not come back, but come around and just get like funding for themselves, not funding for like legalizing the stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion on it. It's just another form of bullying. What is it? The California Tax and Administration Fee? I mean, Foundation or something like that?
Yeah, the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration.
Yeah, that's BS. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it was some of them. Like one of the shows we did one time when we brought to attention, it was like one little dispensary out in Orange County, I think. They couldn't pay their little stuff because they were shut down because of COVID.
The Jungle Boys.
Yeah. And before the COVID, you know what I'm saying, everything's being paid, this, that, and the other, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a pattern that they paying something. If y'all really like, you know what I'm saying, like monitoring things and such, like, oh, I see them paying then. They were shut down now. Do you have your payment now? You know what I'm saying? That's how I believe that should have went. You know what I'm saying? But instead, they just go up in there. You ain't trying to do no type of research, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? You just go in there and ransack the people's stuff. People put time and effort into like setting up their shops. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just like no throw away or put together. You know what I'm saying? People put time to that stuff. And for you to just come in and just ransack some shit, hold my money ransom, hold my product ransom, you know what I'm saying? And you really don't have no reason. Really, you know what I'm saying? But you just want to use the law. Me, I just feel like, again, it's just a form of bullying.
And then it's like they want to talk about the way a lot of the products is not regulated and you know, properly this and properly that. I get that to a certain extent, right? But just think about before there was dispensaries, all the weed motherfuckers was smoking, or before, you know what I'm saying? Like all the different shit a nigga was blowing on and stuff like that, and ain't nobody fucked up from it. So I think it's just it's a lot of hoopla just to be able to do what they do and go in there, you know, and regulate shit and all that. In this day and age, though, just to keep it 100, looking on the flip side of shit, you want to be legal, though. You know, you want to go about the shit and do the shit the right way, have all your ducks in a row, everything tied in, so they can't just run up in your shit or you know, or you know, do what they doing. But like I said earlier, it's just hard for a lot of people, like a lot of minorities right now, like people that has been over the years that has been more affected by, being locked up, from the cannabis and stuff, not just getting high from the shit though, but actually going to jail for it. Niggas done been caught with ounces and in jail, and the motherfuckers probably still in jail because it might have been their third strike or something. No, you know what I'm saying? A few years ago, fucking with LA. So it's like, give everybody a fair shake at it. Give everybody a fair shake, and the people that's of all these inner city communities should be the ones that's getting a fair shake to get up in this shit though. And
they're not trying to hear us though. Cuz.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people that's saying this same shit, that's speaking the same thing, and it's like shit got to open up. It's just like they came out with these different kind of programs supposedly for people in the inner city to get involved in the cannabis industry. I know Freeway Rick Ross, he was fighting for some shit. The cookies dude, Burner, he was also trying to have little programs. I think he helped somebody open up some shit in the Bay Area. Helped the brother open up some shit in the Bay Area. But he was on, a lot of people was on that path to where it needs to be benefiting the people of the community. So because now, with it being legal, it's like a fucking monopoly. And it's like, who really controls the monopoly board in America? That's who eating, and that's who making the rules of how to regulate that shit. Just think about, nigga, you should go get this shit off the motherfucking corner from the homie, from the uncle, from whoever, you know what I'm saying? And nigga wasn't worried about no taxes. A eighth was an eighth. A dub was a dub. A dime was a dime. However a nigga came and got it, that's how a nigga got it though. But it's I just think if you can, we just got to keep fighting the fight though. You know what I mean? To keep it 100, we got to just keep fighting the fight, man. And if we can get it to a place where, a lot of minorities are able to create some kind of avenue in the industry, and it don't necessarily have to be opening up dispensaries. It can also be, growing the shit. It can also be making the edibles and, coming with your own edible, brands and shit like that. So it's a lot of different ways to touch some money in this industry, and it ain't necessarily selling the flower. Like I said, you could do edibles and all kind of different shit though, man. But man, we still gonna fight the fight, man. But we finna move on to the next topic. Our next topic we about to dig into is something a lot of people probably don't know about, and something that a lot of people don't know that it's still in law in a lot of states. So it's called involuntary servitude. So here we go again. I'm gonna read some information, and we got to show love to our audio listeners. So I'm gonna read this information off about involuntary servitude, and we're gonna give y'all explanation and an understanding of what it is. Okay, Monday, the California Assembly approved a bill that will eliminate involuntary servitude in the state for any reason. The bill now heads to the state Senate. If the bill clears the state legislative before the end of June, it will be put on the statewide ballot this November for voters. So remember that. Pay attention for all the people that actually get out there and vote. Okay, California is the latest state trying to remove involuntary servitude as a constitutionally protected form of punishment, a move aimed at formally serving the remnants of slavery from the law. Yeah, slavery. The U.S. Constitution bans slavery, but allows involuntary servitude for the punishment of a crime. Many state constitutions say the same thing, including California. So it's still a lot of states that abide by this. What is the meaning of involuntary servitude? So pay attention. Holding in involuntary servitude occurs when an individual coerces another into his service by improper or wrongful conduct that is intended to cause and does cause the other person to believe that he or she has no alternative but to perform labor. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? To perform labor. Okay, so look, now what are examples of involuntary manslaughter?
That's the.
Hey, look. So what?
You gotta rewind.
Involuntary manslaughter. Oh man. What are the examples of involuntary servitude? The classic example of involuntary servitude is the system of peonage, whereby the poor were forced to labor until their debt was satisfied. More recently, examples include claims of involuntary servitude against human trafficking, the denial of abortion services, racial profiling, and rape. So it goes deep. So just looking at servitude, a condition in which an individual lacks liberty to determine his or own course of action or way of life. Specific, the state of being a slave involuntarily. What is the difference between involuntary servitude and slavery? It could be argued that the key difference between slavery and involuntary servitude is that slavery status attaches to life, but involuntary servitude for only a definite period of time. This supposed distinction, however, is meaningless when we consider the purpose behind a future possibility of freedom. The year the Civil War ended, the United States amended the Constitution to prohibit slavery and involuntary servitude, but it purposely left in one big loophole for people convicted of crimes. So basically what that is, people that's convicted of crimes, you gonna work. And back in the days, you was working to eat. You was working for that matter, and you wasn't getting paid nothing. Even though now, I mean, the most you getting paid, a high paying job in prison is probably $1, maybe $1 and some change or some shit. You know what I mean? So it's still kind of in effect to the aspect of in a slavery aspect. Now check this out. While slavery was outlawed nationwide in 1865, states for decades used the constitutional exemption for involuntary servitude to make money from their prison population. States would lease inmates, mostly black men, to private companies for work. The state made money, but the inmates were not paid. So that's still a form of slavery. Okay, now look, inmates' salaries range from a low of 8 cents per hour to 37 cents per hour, or a minimum of $20 per month, a maximum of $56 per month, according to a legislative analyst of the proposal. Meanwhile, California minimum wage is $15 per hour for companies with 26 or more employees. So, hey, look, when you really think about it, people that's incarcerated should probably be able to get paid minimum wage or something, or, something close, you know what I mean? Or more than what it is now with it being cents. It should be raised up a lot more. Look, the jobs include things like clerk, painters, and carpenters. Some inmates can apply for jobs that earn them industry accredited certificates for things like meat cutting, coffee roasting, and maintenance in healthcare facilities. The convict lease system doesn't exist anymore, and California state courts don't include labor as a condition of criminal sentencing, but California inmates are required to either work or participate in education or rehabilitation programs. What you think about that, Serpo?
I mean, if you're speaking about it, if we go to like with the prisons, whatever it may be, they make it seem as if that's their exemption for the involuntary servitude. You know what I'm saying? You committed a crime, so now you're gonna come up in here, you're gonna work for whatever it is it may be. Like once you think about it, it's like it's sad to say, it's like you from LA, you know about like you roll by like little certain hardware stores like Lowe's, Home Depot, things of such. You have our Mexican peoples out there trying to get their work and get all that going.
Mm-hmm.
That can be some form of it, of involuntary servitude, no matter who they're going to go work for, because it's like you're going to work for what you can work for. You're painting this house, you know what I'm saying? That skill you may be getting, if you want to say hourly, you probably can get like 30, 40 something hourly for this. 8-hour days, painting this whole apartment building may take me about 14 days. Getting it done right. You finna go like in front of a Home Depot or something, you finna get this probably for like $60, $70 a day or whatever it may be.
Yep.
That's cold. That's scandalous.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take that up out of it. You can say some of these minimum wage jobs out here. Like even though the job may be minimum wage and you have to deal with people, this type of person, that type of person, you disrespectful, you think I owe you something, you may be kind, but this kind person is maybe 1 out of 10. And I'm only getting paid $11, $12 to deal with your bullshit.
On the real.
That's a form of, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's not worth your time. But it's like, you got to do this, you know what I'm saying, to pay these bills. Even though I got to put up with this bullshit to go back, and as soon as I pay my bills and my food and my hygiene and then this little high ass gas or whatever it may be, I don't got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you working to pay these people right back.
Yep.
So it's like, it's if you look at a whole lot of this stuff, if you're not comfortable with like your occupation or whatever it is that you're getting, like your money, and you don't feel as if like that's your work, that's some type of, you can say, form of involuntary servitude, because you're not getting paid pretty much what you deserve to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the coercion part of it, I think I'm saying that right, but the manipulation part of it, it's like, man, if you don't work for this hourly wage or this salary right here, you ain't gonna have no electricity.
You ain't gonna eat.
Yeah, your kids ain't gonna have no fresh school clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you forced to get out there to do certain things that you may not feel comfortable to do. That's why, like nowadays in today's age, it's like it's a big wave of like self-made companies and stuff coming through. Like people trying to like pave ways to where they can work for themselves, and you feel as if like you're getting your self-worth versus going out there like pretty much like helping the next company like pretty much get big. I'm part of it. I'm not gonna I ain't gonna front to it. I work for a company. I go out there. The jobs I get, I work hard. I do my stuff right. You know what I'm saying? I make sure my writing is legible. You know what I'm saying? You can see it once I pass it off to the next. You know what I'm saying? Above me is legible. You can present it. You know what I'm saying? I take pride in it. Even though I'm taking pride in this right here, I'm pretty much happy with what I get paid hourly. So it's like I can't complain too much right there. Yeah, I want more. I get more in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, it's like I'm out there working hard and helping this company grow. This company's not mine. If I felt as if like, you know what I'm saying, I was being slaved or whatever it may be, I guess I'll put myself in an involuntary servitude department. So what I'm pretty much trying to say is like it's all in how you look at whatever it is that you're doing. I always say, like, if it's like certain people I've talked to, I've told them, man, if you're doing a job you don't like it, like if you can afford to like leave that motherfucker alone, leave that motherfucker alone. Whatever it is that you out there doing, you gotta like what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You can't, like, if you put out there and you force yourself to get out here and do something that you may not be comfortable with. All right, do it. You know what I'm saying? So you can get up on your feet to do what you actually want to do. But if you continue to stay there, then you're doing that by choice. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? It may sound kind of weird, you know what I'm saying? But if you know this may be a stepping stone for you, step that stone and get to where you need to be at. You know what I'm saying? Because if you continue to just go and just wake up every morning and be like, I gotta go to the shithole, you're gonna be in a shithole. You
Yeah,
ain't
that's
gonna like nothing that you're doing. But if
yeah,
you're enjoying what you're doing, best believe is that involuntary servitude shit, you know what I'm saying, to be about the window.
yep, that's real. And look, I see it like this too, though. But it's still a lot of people that don't that still won't do that though. You know what I mean? Because you got like back in the days, I used to work in a convalescent home, right? I used to work in the kitchen, and it was a lot of Orientals and Mexican people in there too. And it was certain things going on that I spoke up about, and they were so scared to speak up. They went and they asked me to speak up for them. And I told them, hey, no, like hell no. Nah. Like you gotta speak up for yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So, and it's just in other situations like the human trafficking. People coming in from other countries, and man, trust me, it goes on in America. People come
I
in from other
believe it.
countries, and they working in these sweatshops. Working in these sweatshops to produce different things. And a lot of the times they working just to eat, even with the trafficking, sex trafficking. A lot of them girls is selling their body and working, just to eat. They ain't really getting nothing from it. So that's a form of slavery, involuntary servitude, and a form of slavery. You forcing a person, and in some instances you're not
That's
forcing a
slavery.
person. Yeah, you not first. In some cases, you're not forcing a person, but you leave it up to them. But it's their only choice. It's their only option at the time. And you
Through
got
manipulation, right?
right, and then you even got some of these farms that grow the weed and shit though. And you got people that come up there to trim a lot of the time because it's a tedious job and a strenuous job on your hands and all that kind of shit back and all that. So it's like, they get these people that don't have their papers to come in there and work for a little bit for less than minimum wage, a little bit less than nothing. Now you got them cool ones where you're getting paid right though, but it's a lot of them that pay people wrong and then put people in situations where it'd be like you supposed to get paid on Friday, but when Friday come, they talking about, oh, wait till next week type shit though. And a person might have something to do, so they basically controlling how you eat. They controlling how you take care of your business and how you eat. So it's that involuntary servitude. The fact that the shit is still around in a lot of these different states and in the constitution of a lot of these different states, that shit really don't make no fucking sense to me, man. It don't make no sense
It don't.
why, right? And in 2022, that shit is like it's still got that, and that's just a form of that's still a form of slavery.
Yeah.
Ain't no other twisted turns about it. That's still a fucking form of slavery because everybody is in different situations and shit though. Some people lower and all that, and you think about the person, the single mom or the single dad who maybe working a low beat job, but that's just getting them to where they going, and then a person to know that what your situation is, and and try to take advantage of you because your situation. They know you got to work. They know you got to do this. Oh, I need you to do this, Mr. Scott, Mr. Who. You know what I'm saying? I need you to do this. Like, man, it's a trip that like for America to be a place of like the land of the free and a lot of these things that go on in America. But I mean, shit, like they said, America was built on a lot of corruption and bullshit.
Oh yeah, and it's like from what you was talking about, it just made me think like if you go back to our Black Wall Street days, us as a Black community, it's like we weren't dependent on outside for work. We had our own little like system going.
Yeah.
And it's like I believe that is being held over us today.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, if just speaking community based, if we, as you know what I'm saying, as black folks, like really support our own black business, support our own like economical growth, we wouldn't be needed to help grow other companies. Like the skills we have, you know what I'm saying, the skills you have, the skills I have, you know what I'm saying, it'll be used to help grow something within, to help grow something that's without. That's like, you know what I'm saying, why I believe that. That's another reason why I believe, you know what I'm saying, that was, as you was talking to this, hit me like, yeah, that probably is why involuntary servitude is still here, still present today. Because it's like, if we break off and we actually go and use our skills amongst us, with us, man, who you gonna have to help build the stuff that you have? You may have the brains and things to like put certain things together, but you need this type person to help run that machine. You're not that. So if we like had that and we like promoted ourselves, supported ourselves, and did it ourselves, that's another way I believe that involuntary servitude to be about the window.
Yeah. You know, it's a trip. Like, yeah, that. So I'm gonna say it like this though. I'm gonna pay close attention to this because I want to vote that shit up out of here too. Get that shit up out of California. You know, so I'm gonna pay close attention to it. So when hopefully it get all the votes that it needs, so it could be on the ballot in November, so they can get that shit up out of here. And that shit should have been up out of here. But man, it is what it is. Like we said, we're gonna keep fighting a good fight though, and just putting this information out here about things that, you know, some people didn't know, because we just learning about it too. So look, we're gonna move on to the last topic and shit though. We want to talk about the gang, the biggest gang in LA that got a gang internally. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucking sheriff's deputies. So,
and that's across the country.
So, you know, what I like to do is, you know, what we like to do is get the facts on our information. And so we feel like, you know, reading off some good information, facts, and then, you know, just kind of indulging in that shit is a good way to get the shit out there, man. Let us know what y'all think, you know, how this show went as far as the way we delivered it with, you know, reading off some of the information. Okay. If you even give a fuck about that part. All right, look. In a letter dated Monday, Inspector General Max Huntsman said his office has compiled a partial list that include 11 deputies who allegedly belong to the Banditos, which operate out of the East LA Sheriff Department, and 30 alleged executioners from the Compton Sheriff Station. Gangs, nigga, they ganged up. He wrote that his information is based on a Glenn Form investigations conduct by the Sheriff's Department. Huntsman did not name the deputies and said his office has identified additional possible members from other sources. LASD has never thoroughly investigated allegations of gang corruption, and this case is no exception, Huntsman told the Los Angeles Times. And this article that I'm reading is from the Los Angeles Times. Substantial evidence exists to support the conclusion that the Banditos are gang-like, and their influence has resulted in favoritism, sexism, racism, and violence, according to the report, which calls on the LASD to thoroughly investigate all internal criminal allegations that compel statements from witnesses, deputies. The Sheriff's Department may not refuse to produce the records requested below by declaring that no deputy sheriff is a member of a law enforcement gang, Huntsman wrote, adding that the Banditos and the executioners may fall within the state's definition of such gang. Sheriff Alex Villanueva has downplayed the issue, saying problems associated with the group are often the result of drunken deputies getting into fights and taking issues with those who refer to them as deputy gangs. Last month, Villanueva sent a cease and desist letter to the Board of Supervisors demanding that they and others stop using the phrase. Earlier this month, Villanueva said that the sheriff department investigated into the Compton executioners led to 2 terminations and 13 transfers out of the station. I remember that. He said that he did not know how many deputies were identified as having tattoos and said the name executioner was coined by an attorney. So that shit right there, man. Look, like, and then in the inner city, in the hood and shit like that, we already gotta deal with the police, just period. We gotta deal with the racial profiling, like all that kind of shit. That's what we gotta deal with. Now you turn the biggest gang into internal gang, so the biggest gang is acting worse, is actually worse. The internal gang is actually worse than the bigger gang because they doing way more shit. So if you think about it, and they running this shit at the game as a gang, what kind of shit? Man, they could have been doing all kind of shit, taking dope from this nigga and taking it somewhere else, or all kind of shit, taking guns and taking it from here to there. Like, man, that shit is crazy. Because
they do that. Yeah, it is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But they should get the same treatment that gangs get. If you're in the gang lifestyle and you know what I'm saying, you about that, I feel as if you get cracked, doing like harm to a gang like an executioner or whoever the fuck they want to call themselves, if some shit like that happen, you should be like, it's bullshit. That's crazy because it's like they protected. They're a gang that's protected versus the gang that's out here on the streets that you want to prefer, like, is terrorists and shit like that you want to act and take power upon. But you got a gang here within the gang that you say. And it's like, these motherfuckers get away with murder. They get away, you know what I'm saying, with robbery. They get away with thievery. They get away with lying. And that's like fucked up because it's like, how do you fight against that? Like, sometimes you can catch these motherfuckers blatantly on video and all that. They still getting off. This ain't like no mob type shit where like, oh, well, I did something and I'm just gonna intimidate the community or whatever it may be. No, these motherfuckers is sitting there, they blatant.
And they the motherfuckers that's supposed to be serving and protecting.
Yeah, that shit is like crazy. And they the ones that's carrying out like the actual footsteps of these laws, you know what I'm saying? And they bending them to like get motherfuckers like me and you and people that look like us. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
And it's like people don't even wake up from that. Even though we have, you know what I'm saying, we get articles like this, it's being put out there. Some of us will be like, nah, man, that's bullshit. We already knew this. Woo, 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 woo. But still go at your own kind instead of like, you know what I'm saying? Like what they say in Wakanda, is better to build the bridge than the wall or the fence or some type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Instead of doing it, like building something to where you can rely on one another and something big or a force like that wouldn't even be able to come in. You like making a fence to where it's like, you know what I'm saying, this shit can be poked through. That's how we can get like turned on one another. That's like, I don't know, like we still won't even take heed to it, even though the information is out there, like coming to you like on a different little tip of it. It's like we ain't gonna even take heed to it. We'll still like walk down the street, like as you said, be frowned up against our own.
Yep.
You know, it's like in some instances, it's like some of the stuff be going down. This gang that you're speaking of, that's within the police stations, the sheriff station, these motherfuckers will be out here like violating one of our own, and our own to just sit right there, you know what I'm saying, and grab the phone and just get the videotaping instead of helping this shit. It's like that type of shit right there. Like, what did you do about that?
Man, And it really ain't much you can do. I mean, now it's a little different. You know, it's a lot more, like you say, motherfuckers gonna pick up that camera, and there's a lot more cameras everywhere that's gonna catch shit. And if the cop is doing the right thing and got their motherfucking they body cam on, you know, shit gonna be exposed. You know, that's about the best that we got right now. Is a lot of things are being exposed. That's how this shit, you know, part of how this shit is out there now. You know, with the young Mexican dude that got killed, and I think it kind of sparked the investigation back up. I think it was probably about like 2-3 years ago, like on a borderline Gardena Compton. You know, he got killed over there, and it was kind of, you know, kind of suspicious how he got shot. He was like young. I think he was like a security guard or some shit like that, and got killed in the back in the back alley over there by Avalon. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just it's a cold situation, man. I think all the motherfuckers need to go down, and like you said, they need to get treated as gang members, you know, as such, as a motherfucking gang member.
Like with them enhancements and shit, you get a gang member go up in there just because you're a part of a gang. You know what I'm saying? That's an automatic what? Dying. You get 10 for that automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And then activity. They add more time just for the activity now.
Yep. And
so it's crazy.
Yeah, and so far the only thing that happened is some got suspended and 2 got fired, got terminated. And that's crazy because it should have been like criminal charges brought against them. Because just think of all the crooked shit they probably was doing, and how many motherfuckers that's probably locked up because this motherfucker lied. So now if they a gang, so now it gets even deeper like this. So now if they a gang internally in the gang and shit, you know what I mean? They book somebody and this they crew. You know, that they crew is patrolling all the surrounding areas. So if something happened in one of them areas, that crew is the motherfuckers that's coming. You know, so they gonna cover each other. So if somebody doing something dirty and fucked up, though, it's not gonna get out there because they gonna cover for each other.
Yeah.
And that's how they move. And then they intimidate other people in the law enforcement on the force or whatever. They intimidate them, you know, to not say nothing. And I believe this too, though. It's probably cops that ain't on no crooked shit though. But if you watch the shit, then you a cause of it too. If you don't speak up and say nothing. So man, that shit been going on for a long time for the sheriffs. And just think they don't just patrol Compton, they from Compton, you know what I mean? From Compton all the way to the motherfucking downtown LA. You know what I mean? The motherfuckers
doing whatever they want.
Doing whatever the motherfuckers want to. Moving.
Look, I ain't finished it. Yes, and I ain't gonna like say too much about it. You know what I'm saying? But it's something on like on Netflix. They got 137 shots. It's a documentary.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm here. I'm at a part right now. Like the cops, they, you know what I'm saying, they shot a black person, pretty, which it's known all across. But it's like the motherfucker had balls, you know what I'm saying, to like really get up on the hood of the car and shoot in through the windshield and say, I feared, you know what I'm saying, for my life, like I was in danger. But you got up on this motherfucker like you fucking He-Man or some shit and you firing rounds. You know what I'm saying? And their excuse for getting up on this vehicle is because the motherfucker backfired. No gun, no nothing. But they do this shit, you know what I'm saying? It was this 137 shots were fired. You know what I'm saying? And along this shit around the Tamir Rice and all that time. And it's like these motherfuckers in there, as you say, like it just hit, like, because I'm watching it. And it's like you say, like, if something happened in this patrolling area, you know what I'm saying, my partner, he got me. You know what I'm saying? They're going to look out for each other.
Yeah.
All these motherfuckers, like, sit there. It's like looking out for each other. They all got a little story, you know what I'm saying? Like this is what we're going to do. And they sticking together for, like, you wrong. You know you wrong. And you let all these other motherfuckers up inside of here to follow you in wrong. You know what I'm saying? So everybody right here, like we all stick together. Let's all do this. Cover up this wrong.
Yep.
Like that shit is like janky.
Man, janky as a motherfucker. Look, that's why we want to say, look, stay in your lane, avoid them pigs as much as you can. You know, if you want to get in the cannabis industry, you know, fight the fight, figure out, create your lane, however you can create your lane and make that shit happen. You know, try to get around these obstacles because it's a lot of obstacles. And don't get caught up in no involuntary servitude. You know, don't let a motherfucker think you owe them something and you got to work the debt off on, you know, you know what I mean? But look, we appreciate y'all for fucking with us. You know, this is the Best Way to Smoke podcast. It's Big J.
Circle Junior. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and tell a friend.
Yeah,
Peace.
Peace and puff. You know, we've been puffing the whole show. Look, peace and puff.
Peace and puff.
Windows up when I light it up. Choke back to back, burn OG up. Sack for sack, like OG cuz gotta keep the back.
Wait.
Try and make it last, but can't get enough. Can't get enough of that Bob Marley. Turn everything into a cool party. You ain't put in on it, I'm so sorry. Won't be puffing unless it's your party. It's a Compton wave, I'm so gnarly. Smoke is loud as a new Harley. Back to the future like a young Marty. I keep them beats like a young Marty.